good?
What's up, guys? This is Titan Lifestyle. This is Big Drew here with John. Back again every Friday at 2 p.m. We got a good topic this week. We're also going to talk about therapy of the week. Big discount on that. A couple of different topics that we picked out, alcohol related, so stay tuned. And let's see who's on. Let's see who's jumping on.
Oh, yeah.
Got Aliga 7522. Was that Bay Karubin? Bakarubin join. Shout out to Bakarubin.
Big shout out.
Hope I'm getting the name
Big
right.
shout out.
A little bit cold.
It is cold. It is cold out there. You know, here in Florida, I know it's cold all around the United States because I talked to some people that were in Chicago, Michigan, like, man, it's like -7 degrees here. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And I mean, it was like 43 driving into work today, but -7's a whole different ball game,
50
buddy.
degrees colder than
Oh, man, dude. I mean, I absolutely hate it. Like, you know, living up there, that sucked. And, like, I was just like, man. So, luckily, you know, we're good. You know, we'll be good next week. I think we'll be in the 70s, but we got a couple more days of this cold here.
Yeah, our cold isn't. I mean, it's annoying to us, but it's not. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, people are snowed in. I know in northern Florida right now, this morning on the news, they don't even know how to deal with the snow.
Right.
They don't have plows set up.
Right.
They're only plowing off the highways, but like streets, driveways, porches, you know, stuff like that. People don't even have shovels. They don't have you know, snow blowers. They're not made for it. So it's kind of like people are just waiting it out, or just dealing with it as it comes. But yeah, if this was up north, it'd be like, okay, it's snowing out.
Yeah.
All right, it's snowing.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I'm like, all right, get on your warm jacket, you know, get your boots on. Let's go out there. Let's, you know, ice off the car, or, you know, shovel, you know, a path to get to the car or out of the driveway.
Yeah.
I remember those old days, man. Jesus.
Grabbing a CD and using a CD case to scrape the ice off the car.
Dude, I used to hate that. I mean, back in the day, I remember when remote starts first came out in cars, and I was like, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread, man. You start the car up, it heats up or it cools down before you go out there, you know.
So the worst is when you don't set your heat on.
Yeah.
Because when you remote start the car, you crank the heat and everything before you go inside, so that way in the morning, as soon as the car goes up, a lot of times I would forget to crank the heat, and I would start the car, and the car would be on, but it wouldn't. I mean, it'd be warm, but it wouldn't be warm.
Yeah.
But I want it to be like a sauna when I get in there. But
Nancy asks, "Is it cold in Florida right now?" Ask me how cold it is. How cold is it, Nancy? Tell us.
What part of Florida are you in as well, too?
Nancy, you got to be in Tampa, right? Come on. Hi, White. What's going on? Beaches.
Beaches?
I don't know what that's.
Yeah, the beaches have snow too. I noticed.
White beaches. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's where we did see some pictures of with white beaches. So that was
Fort
super
Walton
cool.
Beach or something like that. I saw like it was snow on the beach, which is I haven't seen since I was a kid. But then again, I was up north then. This is a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? What's going to be crazy is when this snow melts, and then the temperature gets cold again. They're not going to know how to deal with that freeze.
Yeah.
You know, up north, like you used to driving in the snow. You know, you grow up in it. You know, black ice. People down here don't know what black ice is.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
So it's like, once the snow melts and gets cold again, it's going to be sheets of ice everywhere. And again, I don't see people salting or sanding the roads. People aren't prepared for it.
No.
And they're just basically just dealing with it. So,
yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Stock up on food, I guess, if you have to. But we're not experiencing any snow in Central Florida, North, South Florida.
No.
At all.
No.
Just
Thank
cold
God.
and wet. That's about it. We got to have a couple more days, and like John said, back to 70 every day.
Yeah. Nancy said, I played vinyl records on my nipples this morning. It was so cold.
I like that one.
I want to hear the remix. What's going on?
I like
I was joking.
I've never heard that before.
Well, it probably was ding.
Shout out to Nancy giving it the first laugh of the day.
Yeah, for sure, Nancy. We appreciate that. See? Warming us up from the inside. We love it. Wait,
who's that? Brucey B 813?
I know that dude.
Which dude?
Yeah,
John or me?
You should know both of us.
ABC, you're getting a little bit too crazy.
Yeah.
You started out good with the white beaches and all that, but you're getting a little bit too crazy. Shout out to Katie as well, saying hello to the Titan family.
Ooh. Yeah. Hello. We hope you guys are all having a good day and all getting ready for... If you guys are living in Tampa, you guys are getting ready for Gasparilla, right? Whether you guys are going to join in the festivities or not join the festivities, Gasparilla Day Parade is going on tomorrow, right? The adult parade.
Yeah.
And I'll be out there, you know, partaking in some of the different things that are going on. I'm not going to get too crazy. I'm not going to go drinking, especially after our topics today that we'll talk about. Definitely plays a role with that. But, you know, I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be... no matter rain, shine, cold, warm, gas bill always goes on.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even me and Drew, I don't know how many years we rode on a float. We did Titan float out there with 93.3.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of those times were really cold, and some of those times were decent.
I remember one time, I think I had this same jumpsuit on, but I had like 3 or 4 layers of thermal underneath.
Yeah.
I had the hand warmers, and I put them in my ear underneath my scully. I'm such a wimp when it comes to the cold. Like, people are like, oh, you're so big. Why are you so cold? I'm cold.
Yeah.
I'm always cold, but yeah. It's always cold.
Yeah.
It just seems like Gasparilla. I haven't remembered a time where Gasparilla's been hot. And our cold's different than everybody else's cold. I mean, our cold is like hoodie and a scully. We're good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm hoping it's not that brutal cold. No. I'm hoping it's like, but again, I'm going to have layers upon layers upon layers. So.
Yeah. Be warm. We'll be warm tomorrow for sure either way.
And I hear a lot of people, too, like, they're talking about the cold. They're like, layers, or I'll just wear a big puffy coat. The problem with that is you're either going to be too hot or too cold.
Right.
The whole purpose in wearing layers is so you get a little bit hot, you could take a layer off, a layer off as the temperature changes or as you change. I know people, like, they'll wear a T-shirt with a big, huge, North Face or big puffy coat, and they'll be warm.
Yep.
But then they'll be sweating when they go inside it. So you gotta layer up.
Yeah.
Layer up. Yeah. Or zippers too. Zipper hoods, you can take it off. And zippers help a lot too.
Plus insulation. So if you want to stay warm, insulation's key, right? Yeah. That's why you layer up. I mean, that's definitely it's more layers they have to go through, like the wind or whatever it is. Yeah. And Gasparill's on Bayshore, which is on the water. So it might be a little cool and you might get a little breeze.
Yeah.
I mean, they say a high of 64 tomorrow, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, with the sun, hopefully.
Listen to us. We're sitting here saying, oh, it's going to be cold, high of 64. And the rest of the country is dealing with 4.
I know.
And a foot of snow. So, I mean, you can see us. We're spoiled with this weather. But one thing with people not familiar with snow, if you guys have kids and the kids are out playing in the snow, make sure their feet are staying dry.
Yes.
A lot of times people down here, they don't realize cold and wetness. So if you guys this is quick hack for ladies, men, guys got kids out there playing in the snow. Use the garbage, the grocery store bags, the plastic bags, like, look that they use to bag the food. Have your kid wear a sock, put their foot in the bag, and then put their foot into the shoe. So the plastic bag's over their sock in the shoe. That way it's not going to do anything in terms of the temperature, but it'll keep their foot dry. Yep. So you don't have to worry about frostbite and all that. So, everybody usually saves grocery bags for whatever reason. Everyone have a junk drawer full of grocery bags. Use those on your kids' feet. Keep your feet dry, so you don't get... Just a quick hack I used to do when I was a kid, because I used to come in and sometimes my sock would be like stiff and wet, and I'm like, whoa, this isn't good.
No, definitely not.
Not good at all.
Definitely not. I mean, especially, if you're in that and your feet, stay wet for a long amount of time, it could do some bad things, right?
Yeah.
So that's major key. Definitely keep your feet dry as much as possible. Katerine, I'll definitely say hi to Charisse. I hope all is well with you. What else we got here? So let's get into one of the first topics. Actually, let's talk about the therapy of the week, and then we'll get into the topic. So therapy of the week this week is CJC, Ipamorelin. So at that point, we're talking about a GHRH therapy. We're talking about a growth hormone-releasing hormone peptide therapy that can help raise your natural growth hormone levels to give you increased muscle mass, lean muscle mass, decrease body fat, increase your natural growth hormone levels, increase energy, help with tissue repair, improve skin health, enhance performance, anti-aging benefits, sleep patterns, and an abundance of different other things. So if you guys are looking for one of these different things, this could be one of the therapies you want to add into your regimen or take by itself. $25 off. All you got to do is say that you've seen it on Titan Lifestyle with me or Big Drew. And at that point, you guys will get the discount of $25 off this amazing therapy, 1-month therapy for you guys. Take advantage of it. And this is great to add in with all the other therapies if you are taking them.
Yeah.
If you're taking HRT, this is a great one, right? ECAs, if you're trying to lean up, this is a great one. I mean, so this can be used with anything across the board. There's no, contraindications with anything. So it's all on you. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or want to know more about the therapy, just call or text us at 727-389-3220.
And also, too, with the CJC 1295, it's like a healing. It's not really known as like such a healing stack, but I use it as my current healing stack. I'm doing CJC 1295, TB 500, and BPC 157. That's the 3 that I'm using right now. And I'm not saying this just because it's the therapy of the week. It's what I'm prescribed.
Yeah.
But yeah, they work great.
Yeah.
You could take, like John said, you could take with other stuff too. But that's what I'm doing right now. CJC, BPC, and TB500, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, it's great therapy. You know, it's helped so many different people. And I mean, it's the predecessor of Cimarron, so this one works a lot better, longer half-life in the body, just CJC 1295 alone. And then getting the second peptide, ipranolol, along with it. They work synergistically together, 2 different peptides, 1 bottle to give you way better results. So this all comes from a U.S. licensed pharmacy on your name. So at that point, you guys are good, and we're here for your support.
Joe 6 says, never thought of that good tip. Yeah, a lot of people down here have tips for being hot. We have people up north have tips for being cold. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you drive up north, you usually have a blanket in the car, or you know, first aid kit, some water, or whatever it is. So, pro tip for you guys, too, since it's getting cold out, and it's been cold for a little bit. If you're on here, or you see this video after the recorded live, tip for you guys. If you guys are getting your packages and you live in a cold area, there might be some of your therapies that could be frozen. It happens. It happens every single year. I just got a call about it last night, and that's why I want to bring it up today. Some guy got his Titan Complete. It was totally frozen. He said, hey, what's the best way to do this? And the best way to thaw it out is you can leave it out at room temperature. It will thaw out over time. And you can just circle it around or just swirl it around. Everything will be fine. It doesn't hurt the products at all. If anything, it's a way to keep them more fresh if you do freeze them. At that point, don't try to do anything crazy with them.
Yeah, don't put it in the microwave.
Don't put it in the microwave. Thank you, Drew. That's the first thing I was going to say. Do not put it in the microwave. The only other way that I would possibly say like it would be possibly okay is if you put a mug of water in the microwave, heated that up, and then you had just the vial, and not submerging the vial, but putting the vial in a little bit and warming it up a little bit. Not super hot. But like a warm, lukewarm, maybe like temperature, a little bit warmer than that, and then you could swirl it around, and that will help thaw it properly too as well.
Also, too, with the like John said, if they get frozen, it's not a problem. That's the peptides that are already mixed up or constituted once you get them. Yeah. If you have BPC or TB500, it's not going to come already mixed together, so that's not going to have an effect on it. But once it is mixed together, don't allow it to freeze. Right. If it's made to keep in the fridge, keep it in the fridge. You don't want to keep your BPC or IGF or anything. You don't want to keep it in the freezer. Keep it in the fridge. Yeah. It shouldn't drop below, 32. It shouldn't get cold. Yeah. But like John said, other stuff that is already mixed up, whether it's Hercules potion or whatever, that can be fine. I don't like to mess with it, so I just sit it out and just let it sit. It usually doesn't take that long. Don't put it in the sunlight either. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm trying to figure out a faster way. Some of the bottles are amber, which means they're brown that protect the sunlight. Some aren't. So don't stick it next to your windowsill and let the sun hit on it to thaw it out. Like John said, just room temperature over time. Or if you have to, take a coffee mug, heat that with water in the microwave, and just take the tips of your finger, put it down, and just move it around a little bit. But that's the same as letting it sit.
That's the same.
I'm weird. I don't like to touch anything. I just let it sit there. I fold a napkin, let it sit. Don't want to mess with it.
I honestly, I think
I don't want to shake it. I don't want to do anything with it.
No. After it's fully thawed, you can swirl it around, and that would be the gist of it. But at that point, you can let it just sit there. But some people they just got to have it right that second. So
what about backwater? Backwater too? Same?
Backwater, if it freezes, exact same,
Bacterial static water, that's what we're referring to, is the large ball that comes to mix your peptides or whatever you're taking. So if you hear us say backwater, that's like John said, that's fine too. So even if that freezes, just let it thaw out on its own, and then you can constitute it, mix it with whatever peptides you guys have.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Punisher 80. The Punisher 80 just joined. Shout out to Punisher 80.
My man, Pat Russo, baby. What's going on? I know you're freezing up in Pennsylvania, aren't you, dude? I know it's cold there, bruh. Yeah. And he comes out of Clearwater at the time, so after Pat he retires as a state trooper there, he's heading down to Clearwater to live. And that's going
to be a good real retirement.
I think it's like 3 years now. 3-4 years. I know it was 5 last year, I think. So you got, 3-4 left? Let's go.
How is his shoulder? What Punisher? Didn't you have some issue with your shoulder? If I remember correctly, I thought that was you. Were you doing some type of peptide for your shoulder or something? I thought that was you. State trooper, right?
Pat's part of the Titan team.
I think that's Pat. Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Team Titan in the house, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so let's get on to the next subject. Let's move down the line here. So I guess let's move on to my topic, and then we'll go into Drew's topic. So the next topic was cancer warnings on alcohol labels. So the Surgeon General has recommended that alcohol, that means beer, wine, or spirits, should not only have a warning for girls that are pregnant or possibly could be pregnant, health issues, they want to put on there, or drinking and driving, obviously. They want to put on there that there's possible cancer warning that could happen. And this is obviously backed up by research. 100,000 people annually get a cancer from alcohol use.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot, right?
That's what we know of.
Right.
A lot of people don't get checked out. They don't go to the doctor for years and years. They may have, God forbid, they may have some type of cancer too. So.
Yeah. And they might not know where it's coming from at that point because it might have spread throughout the body. So this is what they know. They know 100,000 a year annually, guaranteed. And then 20,000 of those 100,000 people, that means 2 out of every 10, die from these cancers. And alcohol-related cancers are preventable. Obviously, if you don't drink alcohol, then it's preventing that. And it's the third most preventable cancer there is, besides obesity and besides tobacco.
That's terrible.
Alcohol, tobacco, and obesity. Wow. And this is all preventable. Preventable mean you don't have to be obese, especially now with GLP-1 therapies. You don't have to be obese.
Yeah.
You don't have to smoke cigarettes, and a lot of people don't smoke cigarettes, but a lot of people do smoke nicotine vapes.
Yeah.
That's definitely been the replacement.
Yeah,
right?
The thing with the nicotine vapes is people don't realize because they're not smelling it.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, even my football coach, when I was in like grammar school, he drove and he smoked cigarettes in the Suburban picking us up, and it was just
trust me,
everything's reeked of cigarettes, and we didn't know at the time. We're like, oh, cigarettes are bad.
Yeah.
People used to smoke in their house.
Yep.
People used to smoke in the middle sections of the mall.
Yep.
And
Restaurants.
but now, after hearing John's topic today, once it gets more out there, probably 5-10 years from now, we're going to be like, yeah, man, people were drinking all the time when I was a kid. People were just drinking beer and drinking. They don't realize. So, like John said, if you're obese and you smoke cigarettes and you drink alcohol, that's like a recipe for disaster.
3 times now. That is 3. Now you just went up 3 times the risk of catching a preventable cancer. And listen, cancer's on the rise. And this isn't just for old people. This is for young people now. Like everybody has cancer. It sucks. It's a disease that I wish nobody ever got, because it's not cool to see one of your family members or even you to go through it. So, at that point, if we can prevent these different things, then we should definitely try to prevent them. Yeah. And obviously, like I said, cigarettes have went down tremendously. I remember going to gas stations when I was 13, 14, 15 years old, and behind the counter, there was like 1,000 brands.
Yeah, I remember the cigarette machines. Cigarette machines. You put it and you pull the thing. The cigarette.
Yeah.
Where's the ID on that? Who's checking IDs on that?
No, for sure.
I remember going to the bowling alley when I was a little kid, and they had cigarettes and they would just pull the thing.
Yep.
We were little kids. We go there and open it and see if there's any, whatever. Where's the ID in that? It's crazy.
There wasn't. I mean, it seems like there was less regulation and less oversight back in the day, and there was less things that happened, or maybe that was less talked about or less shared because of the internet and all the information shared these days. But knowing these things, that we have to get healthier as a country and as a world. So, especially in cancer and all this, if we can prevent it, then this is something you should definitely look at. Now, looking at some of the stats, it's kind of crazy and it kind of freaks me out because I live a balanced life. I am not the person to say, don't have a drink, because I might have an occasional drink, some champagne or maybe a whiskey or whatever it is, depending on the occasion. Do I drink all the time? No, not anymore. Back in the day, I used to drink all the time. College, I used to drink all the time, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I used to drink all the time. Like, that just was a thing. I used to go to college, play baseball, and I used to drink. So nowadays, as you get older, you think about your health a lot more. We've obviously learned more information about what's going on. I mean, they were talking about if a woman has 1 drink a week or less, 1 drink, then you're at 10% risk of catching one of these cancers. If you drink 2, you've now doubled your percentage of catching cancers.
That's 1 drink or 1 day a week?
1 drink a week.
1 drink a week. So there's people that drink every day. There's people that drink every day when they come home from work.
Sharice's mom is one of them.
Even if it's a glass of wine, because they had the thing like years back. Oh, a glass of wine every day is actually healthy, and is it really? Like, but is it really? But
that's what I'm saying. That the research is still out there for raising HDL with a glass of wine for the antioxidants and for the. There's one more portion of this. I apologize. It's just I'm not able to.
But it's kind of like one of those things where it's like putting bacon on a salad. Like it's not making the salad healthy anymore. So it's like it may. Alcohol may do certain things, but there's better options that will bring that down as well. Yeah, bring that up as well.
It's actually not the alcohol in the glass of wine that helps the HDL. It's other things.
Yeah, see,
so that's what I'm saying. So you're right, totally.
And exactly what John's saying with the whole cigarettes thing. Like I think, tobacco is harming too, but when you look at cigarettes is not just tobacco rolled up like the Native Americans used to do back in the day when they would find something and literally everything is 100% natural.
Yeah, tobacco leaves.
Now it's like. You look at the box of Newports or Marlboros or whatever you smoke, there's like a list this long where it's tobacco and everything else. Yep. It's kind of like if you buy a soda, it's one ingredient and everything else. Yeah. And I was watching this thing last week that said 80 to 90% of the ingredients that people are reading, they don't even know what they are, and they're still eating it. So it's kind of like...
Isn't that scary?
Like menthol, when they have menthol in the cigarettes, I know those little fiberglass, that's supposed to be more damaging, and it's just like, man, it's...
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bad, man.
Well, that's the first thing I would share with people out there. If you're really into health and nutrition, then when you go to a supermarket, you will look at the box, you will look at the ingredients, you'll look at the macros, you'll look at the breakdown. It just is what it is. If you are not, you will not. But I tempt you and dare you guys, next time you go in and start buying your groceries, whatever you buy, I don't care what it is, keep in your cart. But look at the ingredients and look at the breakdown of the macros and what's actually in the food that you're going to eat. And if you can look at the back of that and you're like, oh my God, it's like a paragraph this big. Yeah. It's a problem. Yeah. If you look at it and there's like 3 or 4 ingredients, you're on the right track. Yeah. The less ingredients in there, the better and the less processed the food is.
Right. And the first ingredient you see on those labels, that means there's the most that in there. So if you're buying, say, if you're buying something that's a liquid, something to drink, and the number one ingredient is sugar, then that means that there's more sugar in there than everything else. Yeah. So I've even seen stuff that says like, it's supposed to be marketed as an organic, not organic, but just it's a great healthy juice. And you look at the second ingredient, be sugar. Second ingredient, high fructose corn syrup, or sodium bromylate, or all these weird. It's like it's getting
the worst.
Crazy. Man.
Hopefully things are going to get better.
Hopefully Trump clears all this up. I like what he's doing so far with the food thing. I love it. Yeah. The red was red number 3. Red dye 3 first. Let's get rid of all the food.
40's got to go and all the rest.
Food dye doesn't give food any flavor. No. I've never heard of a food dye enhancing a flavor or even preserving a food. All it is literally coloring. So they should just get rid of all of it.
For real.
Like, it doesn't do anything.
For real.
Like, I can see certain preservatives they put in food, they put it in there to make it last longer.
Shelf life,
or to stretch it out to get more, to make people buy. But color is literally only color. Right. There's a lot of soda companies out there that do clear soda now, which shout out to them for doing that. But, what's the point? Remember when I'm not going to give them a name, but...
Clear?
Yeah. It was a cola product, the company beginning with a P, and they used to have clear. It looked just like the water John's drinking, but it was actually cola. Yep. Whatever happened to that? It tasted the same? I don't know. Maybe people are just used to seeing that dark caramel liquid.
I think that's what it was.
It's like a sales thing.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Even colas, it'll change. I promise you guys. Some of these different things that are in our colas are not in colas anywhere else in the world. Yeah. High fructose corn syrup being the main ingredient, not in any other colas in the world. Yeah. And we were talking about Cokes. Everybody talks about the Mexican Coke. Mexican Coke's in a glass bottle, one, and it has sugar cane instead of high fructose corn syrup. Yeah. It tastes great.
I barely ever drink soda. I was fiending for a cola. I don't know why. But I went to the store and I was like, let me just find something that's somewhat decent. And when I tried this one brand, like, what have we been drinking this whole time? Yeah. Because when I looked at the ingredients, it was like carbonated water, caramel, cane sugar, and caffeine from coffee. Yeah. That was it. And it was the best soda I ever had. I didn't feel guilty afterwards. Yeah. So just like John said, I encourage people to read labels. Mm-hmm. Read all your labels. It takes me forever to go grocery shopping. Yeah. I don't care if it's plain rice or... ketchup or anything. I read every single one. So if I go to the grocery store tonight and I'm looking at ketchups, I have my specific comment. If they don't have that, I'm literally turning around every single one. I don't care what it says in the front, because on the front it'll say reduced sugar. But then if you turn around to the back, they have the same amount of sugar.
I know.
They have the same amount of sugar, but on the front it says reduced sugar. They got me the other day because I saw egg whites. It was like 1 carton for $7, or you can get 2 for $7. Or 2? No, it was 1 carton for $7. But then they had a sale. 2 of the short cartons was the same amount of price. So me, naturally, I see the big sale sign. I get it. But then after I just got it, I realized this is the same price as this. But they got me.
Oh, shit.
And as I was walking away, I'm doing math in my head. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same. Like, wow. Oh, well, they got me.
Oh, man.
So you got to look the back.
Got to look. Be educated about what you're doing. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I have some people, like, raking me over the coals about, a therapy or vitamins or something like that. I'm like, you don't even look at what you're putting in your body every day. And you're talking about this right now. I'm like, this is actually something that's healthy. It's going to be put in your body. I'm like, you just throw anything in. Like, think about it. Like, if you look at some of these labels and you don't know what some of these things mean, there's ChatGPT, there is your Google. I mean, you literally just press a button on your phone and just speak what it is in there and get the definition. And then you'll understand what you're putting in your body. And then maybe you'll think about it. Maybe you won't.
I was speaking to someone yesterday. And they were talking about like even makeup, like a lot of makeup. Women will wear any type of makeup. Guys will wear any type of lotion or cologne or deodorant, any kind. But then they'll be like, "Are you sure you want to eat carbs after 8 p.m.?"
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, I eat carbs at 4 a.m., 1 a.m.
Yeah.
A big bowl of rice when I wake up. That doesn't mean anything. So people are so selective when being healthy. Like, they'll be healthy about certain stuff, but I realize that a lot of people, the most judgmental people, are the people that aren't on track themselves.
That's true.
If somebody's out of shape, if somebody's not feeling good about themselves, they may say, "Are you sure you want to drink soda? You look healthy." Yes, I can drink 1 soda a week, maybe if I feel like it, but that doesn't mean you can. So
no, that you're exactly right on that. It's exactly right.
People are like, "Oh, you're all in shape. I'm surprised you're eating that much amount of rice." I'm like, yeah, well, look at Japan. They have the highest rice and red meat consumption. They live the longest. There's no obesity over there.
Yeah.
And if they are obese, it's because they're sumo wrestlers and they're training and eating specifically to be obese. So it's not just because they're lazy.
Yeah.
Those guys work harder than anybody. I was watching the sumo wrestler thing, and I couldn't believe these guys are stomachs out to here, but they're flexible. They can move around. They're eating like huge bowls of cabbage and rice and real food, but they're doing it with a purpose. So it's like,
yeah, super dope.
People just eat to eat. I notice people that eat consistently, whether it's McDonald's every day or whether it's rice and chicken every day.
Yep.
Those are people usually on track. Because people are just like, oh, what am I in the mood for right now? What do I feel like eating right now? That's not good. Because then your system can't recognize and it's just all over the place.
You should have some sort of plan. There's some days when you don't, but majority of the time you should have a plan in place.
Yeah, it's like putting different oil in your car every time you need an oil change.
Right. Even gasoline.
Yeah.
You're going from 87 to 93 octane, and then 93 back to 87. Like, what are you doing here? Your car's going to work really good on 93, but it's not going to work too good on 87, right? You're going to hear the putts, and it might not be gassing like it should, accelerating. All these different things. So, that's why we're kind of harping on just the nutrition point right now, because nutrition plays a major role in your health and plays a major role in your physique in general and what you can do with your physique. So,
speaking of nutrition, shout out to my boy Lewis on there. I see Lewis on there.
Oh yeah,
great.
Dude, what's up, dude?
Speaking of nutrition, I'm gonna give Lewis a shout out because this man makes the most healthy,
yes,
greatest chocolate chip cookies I've ever had in my life. Every time I go to John's house, I eat I'm not even lying, like 20, 25 cookies, and I feel like perfectly fine. So
Lewis, he definitely does it up, man. Grill, bacon, he is the chef.
I remember one time me and Mike were over there just tearing those cookies up.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, those cookies. Woo! All right, so you want to get to your next?
Yeah, my topic: how long does alcohol stop burning fat? Like John said, alcohol is pretty much poison at this point. People don't realize that if they go out drinking, they're like, "Oh, I'll take a day off or a night off, or I'll just sleep it off." But people are trying to lose weight. People are trying to burn fat. Even if you don't have fat, if you're trying to stay ripped, one shot of alcohol, as soon as you put alcohol into your body, it's going to stop the fat burning process. Your body's not going to know what that is. They look at it as poison. So what happens, your body just starts regulating that alcohol and everything else gets turned off. Fat burning, muscle building, everything else gets turned off. So
your body wants to filter that alcohol through your body as fast as possible.
Yeah, so it's like I see people like, say if you go out and I've even seen it, I'm not a drinker really like that. Kind of like how John is. Like
Yeah.
I drink, toast when we have champagne and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've seen people when they travel, they may have one drink midday at the hotel, and then later on that day go work out or go do some cardio. I see it all the time. They'll go to the hotel bar. Let me just grab a drink. They'll have a drink. They'll maybe get some food or whatever, and then later on they'll go do cardio. So cardio is pretty much pointless at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not burning anything. So between John's topic of the toxicity and alcohol causing cancer, and mine saying it's, stopping your fat burning, I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, alcohol is definitely not good for muscle gains or weight loss or anything health-wise. It just isn't.
And one thing now, the studies on it now are saying that marijuana use has overtaken the use of alcohol. So they're saying more people are, whether it's casual every day, every so often, but more people now are choosing marijuana. First, because it's illegal in a lot of states. It has medical benefits. Alcohol doesn't have any. The only thing alcohol benefit I would have is it numbs stress but doesn't take it away.
No, hell no.
It's kind of like when you get BPC. It fixes your elbow rather than just taking a painkiller. Alcohol just numbs your mental pain, and it makes you unaware of stuff.
It's true.
So it's like a shift where people are slowly choosing marijuana and alcohol, and people are still not there yet because they're still like, marijuana was a drug. It was illegal. But the more it goes on, you see, benefits, this and that. I'm interested to see what they're going to say in 5-10 years from now from marijuana. I mean, maybe there's going to be something on there that they say, but as of right now, alcohol is like, I'm surprised it's legal.
What?
Alcohol. I'm surprised it's legal. I mean, it hasn't been illegal since I think 1919 or 1920, the Prohibition era.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised it's still legal. It's going to make people cheat on their spouse. It's going to make people fight. It's going to make people get in an accident, make people kill somebody, destroy your kidney, destroy your livers, make your inability to burn fat, cause cancer. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm surprised it's legal. I mean, you could legally go to the store and buy 5 bottles of vodka and drink them all today.
It's true.
Legally.
It's true.
But you couldn't go, if your tooth hurts, to get some extra pain medication.
It's true.
Because you need the medication for your tooth. So it's
true.
just, it's only, I think alcohol is going to be illegal in 50 years. It's crazy, but I think it will be, and I think it should be.
Yeah.
And then it's going to have bootleggers everywhere,
it's just, it's just so much, I mean, alcohol is just, it's ingrained in our society. It's ingrained in who we are to a certain extent. Even going back to the old days, before Christ, think about it. And then AD, after Christ, the Romans, the Greek. I mean, that's all they did, drink wine all day. And so it's messed up, but we know more than they knew back then.
But
so
one thing too now is with, just like, I wonder, I mean, the alcohol, if it's straight alcohol, I'm assuming obviously it's going to be better than alcohol with a bunch of preservatives. But back then when they were making the wine, it was probably like grapes that they stepped on. It was in a barrel. It was organics. It was different.
Oh, no, I definitely think it's
everything.
different.
They're making, it's just crazy.
I definitely think it's different for sure.
The only type of alcohols I will have, I may have a shot of whiskey because I feel like whiskey is the cleanest. So every once in a blue, I'll have a shot of whiskey, but I don't drink beer like that. I don't drink to get drunk.
Beer will put a beer belly on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink beer to get drunk.
Right. So, the beer I would stay away from. I would stay away from that. Some of those beers do have high fructose corn syrup in them too as well.
Yeah.
So it's just I would stay away from liquor as much as possible, and start advancing into things that are really going to do good things for you because. Obviously alcohol can be a negative effect in so many different ways, not just with your physique. It can make you aggressive. It can make you, not who you usually are if you drink enough of it. It can mess with your sexual functions. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that can go along with this. So, just be on the healthy track. You can celebrate if you want to celebrate, but just be responsible in it. And just know that there are people out there, right? Because me and Mike were talking about this too, that there's like this dude, like he introduced me to this dude Huck Finn, and this dude's so strong, right? And this guy benches, but his like gig is he drinks a beer.
Yeah, I know Huck Finn.
Right?
Yeah.
So he wants to join Team Titan. So people were asking us on that live, and it's a good question, right?
Yeah.
Can you get gains and still drink alcohol?
Depends what type of gains.
Right. You're not going to get maximal result. Yeah. Can you maybe get a little bit of gain? Yeah, I'm sure you could. But at that point, like, why wouldn't you want to reap all the benefits? Yeah. The total benefit of get what you can. So, just be mindful of that. But
one last thing too with the alcohol is look at how much it costs. I mean,
that's expensive.
especially if you go out drinking. I mean, it's one thing if you grab a bottle or get some wine or a 6-pack or whatever at the store, but if you go out drinking, I know guys like that literally spend thousands of dollars every single week at the club, every single week, and they may have 1 or 2 shots. It's all for the people, it's all for the girls, it's all for whatever. So you spend thousands of dollars every week to not even feel the effects, just to show out like that. Just to, I mean, I see guys in the club that get 3 or 4 bottles and they won't even have a sip of it. Oh, this is for the girls, whatever, have fun. You know, it's just like, man, just look at the price of it. I mean, it's like crazy. People don't realize how much alcohol costs, but when they're like, oh, why do you spend so much money on, you know, grass-fed beef and grass-fed bison and pasture-raised eggs? I'm like, because I don't drink and I don't go to the club and spend $800 to $1,000 on a bottle. You know, I mean,
it's ridiculous.
How much grass-fed beef could I get with $1,000? A good amount. And
how much better would you feel?
Yeah, and it's going to do a lot more harm, a lot more good than bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's another effect. You know, you don't feel as good the next day, right? So
I'd spend money on my body.
Yeah, I would definitely spend money on your body
in a good way.
Help it, right? Instead of putting in negative effects, for sure. All right, so
Marcus Cambridge, no way I was always get ads for the Titan Pharmaceuticals as that guy is in the AD. I'm not sure
that
what the
guy
AD
is in the AD.
Not sure what the AD is.
An ad?
Ad?
I don't know what that means.
No, probably, ads for Titan guys in there.
Big shout out, Marcus. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for everybody joining us today. This has been
saw
awesome.
Marcus Cambridge. I thought it was Marcus Camby when I looked quick.
Yo.
And the crazy thing is Marcus Camby played basketball for University of Massachusetts, and it was like, I just keep seeing Marcus Camby on there with Lou Rowe and Edgar Padilla.
I remember, dude. I remember.
Was back in the
he
day.
was awesome.
They were the best team in the nation.
They
Never
were.
again. I don't think UMass going to make it that
far. Events coming up.
Yes.
So first event of the year will be February 8th. That'll be the Motor Enclave. That will be Cars and Couture Masquerade Edition. And we will be there in full effect with the Titan cars, Titan models. Big Drew will be there. We will have a blast. This place is pristine in every way, shape, and form. And it definitely invokes the Titan lifestyle and the Titan standard. It really is a mecca. Like when you go there, Drew, you'll see it. I mean, it's just gonna knock you off your toes, dude. It's crazy. And this will not be the only event we'll be doing there. We're going to team up with Motor Enclave personally and do our own Titan event.
And Motor Enclave is in Tampa too. It's in East Tampa, I think Falkenberg.
Yeah.
But so people keep asking, where is this place at? It is in Tampa.
It is in Tampa.
It's huge. I haven't been there. I keep hearing about it.
It's huge. And this
I
event,
can't wait to get out there and see what it's all about.
It is almost sold out. Like, I mean, I think there's some general admission tickets and stuff like that left, but it's going to be a slammed event. It really is. And every event they've had there has been a huge event, and Enclave in general, because they just don't accept people to do events there. So you actually have to be somebody, and they have to approve it for you to have an event there. So
black tie event as well.
Big shout out to Chaz and everybody at Motor Enclave, the event section, and everybody else. As far as that goes, we love you guys. It's like it's not just a racetrack. It's a racetrack. It's got garages. The event center itself is just ridiculous, right? And then like during the summer we'll go out there. The pool is ridiculous. Like it's just there's so much there. It's crazy. Off-road course, like we can go riding on, like
4-wheelers and stuff like that.
I'm talking about the Tesla truck getting out there and doing stuff like that. It's just getting crazy. So we will see you guys there, though. February 8th. We'll see you guys there. It's going to be a great event. So get your tickets now while you still can.
See if you got any more questions. If you can just scroll up and down real quick. I just want to make sure that buffalo meat all day. Yeah, bison meat's always good. Got a guy on there, Bear, just said buffalo meat. I love bison meat. It's lighter on my stomach too when I eat bison meat. It's not so greasy. I feel. That looks like everybody got everybody's questions so far. Again, we'll be back next week, 1 p.m. every Friday Eastern Standard Time. This is Titan Lifestyle. I'm Big Drew. That's John. Tune in on YouTube, hit the bell, and also make sure you're subscribed. Check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. We'll be back next week.
Yes,
Titan
sir.
Lifestyle.
My man.
See you guys next week.